Alright, hey everyone, my name is Sammy and welcome to another episode of my stream theory playthrough of Dark Souls, where I will provide commentary and analysis of my playthrough as I go here. Last stream was pretty darn exciting, ended on quite the high note, defeating Manus, which is like the major big boss of this Ulasil area, and I have a ton of souls now. However, we are not quite done with the Ulasil part. There is one more fairly good boss to go here. So once I get the stream going, chat up and do a nice check on that, go ahead and probably level up. Don't want to lose these souls. Let's see how we're looking here. Alright, seems to be good. I will... At this point, it doesn't... like... I'm so highly leveled that actually does not really matter where I put my points. Because vitality and dexterity are probably the best. Actually, because I've played this game before and because I have a lot of experience with the game, I've been putting my points in a more honed build than when I did the first couple times. And that's why I'm like pretty much all set with my stat allocation. How many levels? I can do 2 levels. Vitality is as good as any, dexterity is as good as any. Yeah, I think I'll just put dexterity to 40 and then start leveling up the rest, because both dexterity and strength, they start to lose their gains at level 40 the most. It's like after 40, there's really no point in putting points into those, so you might as well put into the other ones. But yeah, dexterity 37, it's still giving me some benefit to my attack there. And this way, with points allocated, I can continue forward here. So what I want to do first is check in on some NPCs, I think, because we did do major portion of this area, and I think those NPCs will have more stuff to say regarding story bits. Let's see if this guy here has anything to say. So the great thing about this is right after Manus, you can go straight to the next boss. There isn't much.
You have quite some nerve, or are you just thick? Fine then.
Okay, I don't think he has anything to say.
If you...
I think Elizabeth the Mushroom might have something else to say. If not, it's no big deal. I think it's fine to just take a break, a breather in this playthrough, because I've already explored the entire area, so to speak. There's nothing left to actually see besides the final boss battle. So this is more of like we've done the big boss battle, which is Manus. He's directly related to the problems going on here. The Abyss has been taking over Ulasil, and Manus is the one that has unleashed it. He essentially created the Abyss, turned into this monster, and unleashed the Abyss on Ulasil. So we defeated Manus. However, now we're like in this epilogue of this I want to say it is DLC, it is downloadable content, but I don't really like that term. I think a better term to call it is like an expansion pack, an expansion story to Dark Souls. And then we can continue on with the main story back in...
I have awaited thee.
Okay,
Thou hast
yeah, she does have
rescued
something to
Princess
say.
Dusk. and rid us of that terrible primeval human, even halting the spread of the abyss. I salute the grandeur of thine enterprise. Please allow me to express my gratitude. I thank thee, as do we all.
Okay, she gives me more Elizabeth mushrooms, which are one of the few healing items in the game that, just healing items outside of Estus flasks. Because we have Estus flasks, there's largely no reason for the game to make it easier on you to have bonus healing items. But there are some rare exceptions.
To myself. This is the best way. For thou art come from a time far ahead. No one will sing thy praises, but yet thy greatness shall live on. For it shall be my purpose to remember all thou hast done for us. Was thine eye glancing hither? Thou needst not hide thy wonder. I am a mushroom, after all. May the flames
Interesting about the thing about this. Hey, husky dog, how are you doing? Interesting thing about this expansion to the game is that if you somehow get to this first before fighting Sif, your encounter with Sif is a little bit different, or at least the intro cutscene to that. So I thought that was a nice little touch they added to that. Because if you do this, you saw we saved Sif. He was trapped in that sort of barrier surrounded by enemies. If you save him and then you do the encounter with him, you still have to fight him, but the intro cutscene to that is different. As if like Sif has to still fight you, but he feels a little bit of remorse for doing so because he remembers you as the person that saved him. I'm doing good, husky dog. I'm gonna be going up against the Black Dragon, so that'll be really soon. I'm just gonna do I'm doing some preliminary things here and get on with the show. I thought that was so as far as how this expansion affects the main game, that's a nice little touch. It's not just a sort of separate experience. They did a good job of making sure all of it is tied in very well lore-wise, and it can impact your experience in the main game. Always nice to see that. There's one downside of that, and it's okay. So where I need to go is here. If you remember, there was a locked door here. I picked up a key. Now I can open it. There's one downside with that. Because the DLC wasn't something that you can do after you defeat the main game, and you have to do it, before you beat the game. What happens is it kind of affects your level. You essentially gain too many souls, and you can level up far past what you need for like the final bits of the game. So the way they did it, incorporating it into the main game here, even though the content, the old Steel stuff is excellent, what happens is it kind of makes the rest of your game a little too easy, because then you end up being over leveled for what they intended you to be. And that's not necessarily a terrible thing, but I think maybe Dark Souls 2 does it somewhat better in that most of the content you should probably do after you beat the main game. It makes me feel bad when I have to fight the wolf because you save him and then kill him. I can't do that. It says husky dog. Yeah, that is a nice. Well, not nice. That is a. It's a nice touch that they add that, and it imbues the scene with emotion. It is a very tragic thing. That's kind of why I like to do the Sif battle before I do this, because then it's like if you're in the mindset of my character, it's at that point it's like, oh crap, I already killed the dog in my past, in the future. It's quite a shame, but oh well. Let's talk to this character here.
A visitor, have we? Thou must be the one who freed Artorias, that old friend he was. Thanks to thee, he left this world with honor intact, and here I am, retired and blind. Of little help to thee, I'm afraid. If thou seekest to explore this domain, be wary of a black dragon. I fear thee no match for this terrible beast.
So I really love this this character here, largely because of the voice acting. That voice is so like deep and impactful. Very well done. This guy is Hawkeye Goff. He is one of the four knights of Lord Gwyn, and I guess one of the two only surviving knights now. Since we killed Ornstein, we killed Artorias, and Kieran and Goff are the only ones left at this point. So he was one of the knights, one of the four knights.
There's very little to be said. What good is a dog with no hairs to hunt? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose. What good is a dog? But I'm...
Wonder if you actually have to... I forget, like, because I already know what happens. I played the game before. It's like I may be skipping what I'm supposed to do here.
As thou seest fit.
Do I have to, like, leave and then return here?
Well, thou comest
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, what a strange one. But I'm...
I think maybe I'm supposed to try and encounter the dragon battle first,
As thou seest fit.
and then fail that, and then come back to him, and then he'll do his thing.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
farewell, human.
Seems like that is what I'm supposed to do. Like, normally what would happen is, with any new playthrough, yeah, you have to start the Calamite fight at least once. Yeah, okay. That's what I figured. Like, when you're playing this for the first time, you're not supposed to know the order of operations here, so it makes sense that it would have to happen like this. Right, like, normally I would have done that fight just at any point. Like, when I went over that area and then kind of stopped, didn't go forward because I knew what was coming. Probably should have given it a try first, just so that I can unlock this much quicker. So yeah, you do have to go down here first. And you'll see what happens here. Not much you can actually do. Okay, should I leave my summon sign? I've been trying to like help people with co-op, but seem to not having any luck as far as finding people who actually want to be summoned. So I don't know if I want to try that first. The thing about leaving my summon sign and then trying to stream that is that there's just a lot of downtime, a lot of just waiting, which isn't all that conducive to streaming. Like, if I could leave my summon sign and then go exploring, that'd probably be fine. But because I've explored everything in Lucille, right now there's just nothing much else to do. Let's see what these messages say. New charmer. Alright, let's just go. My summon sign will disappear here. There's the dragon. I missed it. That's fine. I don't really need any of the drops on these things. Apparently stuck around for a very long time. But, yeah, no matter. It's a good thing I invested my souls here because... Alright, here he comes. Because this battle here is actually unbeatable. He just flies around and does his fire breathing, and then you just die. Alright, so this is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to try this encounter. He flies around and you can't really do anything against him. You're essentially either supposed to die or try to encounter him and then run away, which isn't something that happens often in Dark Souls. But I know like other From Software games do this, where you're supposed to die. I think only in there's only one other scenario in this game where you're actually supposed to die before you can move on with the story. I'm kind of conflicted about when games do that to you. When failure is actually the correct way to move forward, because it's like the game wants you to not fail. You're trying actively to not die, and then all of a sudden the game wants you to attempt the encounter and fail. It's kind of counterintuitive. It's always confusing when the game does that, but then again, it's like an interesting twist on how that works. And in Dark Souls, on top of that, dying isn't really a big deal anyway, as long as you are prepared and you're constantly investing your souls. I mean, if you went up against the dragon, you'd probably be pissed if you had like a ton of souls. So yeah, there's that. There we go. New. Yes. Okay.
Yes, I thought as much. He's called Calamite, ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Analondra dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but thy intent is to persevere to the bitter end. Good. What is
Oh, by the way, hi Nick,
dash
it's good to see you. Hi Moron.
I've taken a liking to thee.
Been a while since I saw you in
Much
the
for thy
stream.
service to Artorias. Now watch and see how Golf hunts dragons.
Yeah, they get the Dark Souls doesn't have too many cutscenes, but when they happen, usually a big, impressive moment.
Yes. A truer shot was never loosed. That bat will be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
Right, so that scene there is even more impressive, considering that he's blind. He's been blinded, so he's just Hawkeye Goff being super awesome. It's a shame that we don't see him more often in the game. Like that his moment in the game is bright but very brief. All right, now back to actually attempting this dragon. Now the dragon here is Alright, Morinar says, I've never beaten Dragon Calamite solo. Also, you need way more flasks. I've only done the dragon solo, and I think it's fairly... I never found it too difficult. I don't know. Maybe I do need to kindle. I've probably kindled in my previous attempts, but I'll give it a shot without kindling. Alright, so hoping that these dogs don't chew up too much of my health. So I do have a specific strategy when fighting this dragon. That helps me out a lot. Okay, so let's see if that'll work. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite battles. One of the toughest in the game for sure. And it's just because of the way you have to interact with him. You have to move around a lot. You have to read his attacks correctly. So first try, of course, I'm going to mess up a whole lot. Yeah, I'm going to mess up a whole lot just like that. But once I start reading his moves a little bit better, then I should be good to go. I'm not really too worried about my retrieval. Like I said, that's exactly why I invested my souls beforehand. Of course, it's always good practice in Dark Souls. You could die at any moment, so you always want to just level up after a huge boss battle. Get a ton of souls. Just put it into something, into your armor. Yeah, so let's see if I can deal with his attacks. Read him and dodge him properly before I say, okay, definitively, I definitely need to kindle. If I had to say, this is probably my second favorite boss in Lucille, and probably my second or third favorite in the game overall, just because Dragon is pretty darn cool, and the way you have to approach him is very specific. You have to move around a lot, you have to constantly be on your toes. Alright, so okay, that one's a straight up plume. Alright, to try and figure that one out. Looks like a sideways dodge. That's what happened. Remember last time I did him? I just went up against him a few times and then started to learn his attacks, learn how to dodge them properly. Right now, it's just going to be me dying up against him. Morinar says, I am super crazy to run up against that with 5 flasks. Yeah, I think so. And I'm probably going to decide that too, but like I said, I'm still learning. And, you know, whether I have 5 flasks or 10 flasks is not really going to matter that much in the first few attempts, because I'm likely just going to die before I can even use my first flask, right? So he's just going to kill me outright. It's because I haven't learned to fight him properly. When I get to the point where I am like actually using my flasks and making the battle go longer, dodging its attacks, that's when I'll say, okay, I definitely need. I've used up all my flasks, and I definitely need I definitely need 5 more, rather, just so that I can last long enough to whittle his health down. Alright, so I'm trying to recreate my strategy from before. Like, there's a definite thing that I remember doing. Okay, so I think what I do is I want to try and bring him all the way over here in this corner. Because his main weakness is, you know, trying to deal with you in a tight corner. If you're out in the really open area there, then he can move around quite a bit. And get like so far out of range of your attack. So that attack right there, he moves really, really far. But if you're in this area, you kind of you stop his movement a lot. That's basically what I do in the beginning. I try to like bring him back to the where he first appears. And then I can just get a lot of hits on him. Because there's like he can't move around a lot. Also, what I mainly want to do here is be like, try to be perpendicular or parallel to the wall, rather. Because he's going to be, when he does his charge attacks against you, he's going to be hitting the wall, like just like that. That's what I want to happen. And then I'll be right up against him to hit him. Okay, perfect time to heal up. Okay, so now I'm starting to actually use all my flasks here. So this is where I'm gonna have to decide: do I need more? I think the answer is probably no. I think I can. I'm probably gonna die this run, but there will be a time when I can actually defeat him without needing that other set of flasks. Oh no, I just beat him. See, Mornar? That's exactly how you do it. I don't know. Maybe you just tried to fight him in this area here. Keep in mind, this is also not a New Game Plus run. So if it was New Game Plus, I'd probably see the argument for beating him with 10 flasks. So okay, Mornar said, sorry if you answered my question, but why are you scared of kindling? Oh, I just like the challenge of trying to do it with just 5 flasks. And there's also the threat of going human and being invaded. Like, I have been invaded by human players. Even like pretty much every time I've kindled in this game, which is only a handful. Like basically, probably kindled 4 or 5 times in the game. It's like 3 out of those 5 times I've been invaded. So I don't really like being invaded in general. And on top of that, as you can see, like you don't need 10 flasks for most fights. I think the only fight I needed 10 flasks in the game was Ornstein and Smo. Like that's where I've actually used 10 flasks. Here I beat him with just 5. Yeah, he said, told you he was the hardest fight in the game. I agree he's the hardest fight, but like I said, bring him to this little corner here. Like I noticed, when I was fighting him for the first time, I noticed a lot of his moves revolve around him moving a huge amount, like doing these ridiculously long charges. But if you bring him here, in this tight crevice here, then you kind of neuter his movement. And then he just like charges the wall. You can pretty much just turn around and then swing your sword and hit him. Mornar, you say you missed most of the fight. Oh, I'm sorry, man. You're probably at work or something, and you can't look at the screen consistently. So don't worry, I'll have it archived, and I'll probably tweet the fight. It's actually a bit anticlimactic to me, just because I know the fight so well. And even it took me 3 attempts, but that 3rd attempt, I just basically flew right through his health. Was there any? Actually, I think there's like another item here. Might be wrong, but somewhere here should be an item. I think borderline impossible out in the open. Right, yeah. I noticed that for in this large area, a lot of his moves are meant for that open area, but I think the developers of the game designed this area to have that little crevice for people who could figure it out. And then here it is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Nice titanite slab if you haven't gotten one yet, or you can also use it to make another big item, I suppose. So with that, I think pretty much done with all of Lucille. I don't know if maybe I'll talk with Hawkeye Goff once more and see if he has anything else to say. But as far as Lucille is concerned, I have pretty much saved the entire area of all threats. So yeah, on the 3rd try, I did almost die. If he hit me one more time, I didn't have any more flasks, so I would have died. You could see how much health I had left at the end. And then I would have to go into a 4th attempt. But I was fairly confident that I did not need to kindle. Oh yeah, these dogs are still alive. Crap. These things are gonna kill me. Alright, yeah, no problem. I probably should have just used a homeward bone there anyway. Just to make it faster to get back to the bonfire for you guys. Now I gotta go get my retrieval and then talk to Goff. I suppose I could talk to him first and then get the retrieval. Either way, I need to get back to a bonfire to warp out of here back to the main world. So anyhow, Mornar, if you end up doing the another playthrough of Dark Souls, and you want to try and attempt the fight on your own, that's how you do it. And I'm proud to say I figured that one out by myself. I did not consult a guide. Like, I observed his attacks. I saw that his attacks are largely based on his huge movement, he charges, his ability to cross the huge canyon there really quickly, so that you have to like keep running across, using up your stamina. But yeah, when I noticed that, and I saw that there was also a very small corner, I made an educated guess. I tried to keep him in that corner, and then I saw that that was the most effective way to do consistent damage to him without you having to run around. Alright, let's talk to Goth, spend some of these souls, and then we can move on. Yeah, this took a lot less time than I thought it would. I thought it would take a few more attempts, but I think probably got a bit lucky with that boss. Otherwise, I probably would have needed a few more attempts to do it right. So, okay. Some downtime before we get to Goth here. So at this point in the game, there's not much left for me to do. There's only one more Lord Soul to collect, and then after that is the final boss. So yeah, I won't be doing all of that in this stream. I mean the next Lord Soul area is like another huge area like Lucille, and that'll take me probably a few more parts to do that. But I would say this whole playthrough we're in the home stretch, and it's coming to an end really soon.
First defeated Calamite, wondrously played. Lord Gwyn's blessing upon me. That beast will never take to the skies again. Dragons shall never be forgotten. We knights fought valiantly, but for every one of them, we lost 80 of our own. Exhilaration, pride, hatred, rage. The dragons teased out our dearest emotions. Thou will understand one day. With our twilight, old thoughts return, in great waves of nostalgia. This great bow, I shan't need it, but no dragons to hunt. I know not if a human could even operate it, but here, thy need outweighs mine.
Oh, we got his great bow. You need a ton of strength in order to wield that.
Gander at it, but the dark of the abyss, which swallowed poor Artorias, threatens to devour our entire land of Ullasil. It seems that this dire fate is unavoidable, but, seduced by a dark serpent or no, they awoke that thing themselves and drove it mad. One's demise is always one's own making.
Man, that voice actor.
Do not mistake my words.
I wonder if he's in any other
Cherish
games.
my work. Wood carving is a nuanced art. I would have much to talk
Or
about.
if this is, I wonder if this is just like an After Effects thing where they just
How is the old chap?
turn the bass all the way up.
Still hammering away.
But I don't know.
I should hope.
I can do a fairly good imitation of the voice.
Farewell.
So it's probably just the voice actor being
Every
awesome.
honor be bestowed upon thee.
Okay, let's get back to the main quest. Everything here is all completed. So like I said, all this stuff was pretty awesome. Some of the best boss fights in the game. Boss fights in the game, rather. And get extra stuff to play through. If you love Dark Souls, then this is like just more good stuff to do. I'd say that, again, the one downside to this expansion is that you do have to do it within the game rather than after the game, because of the way the game works. Because of the way the game just ends and you cannot continue exploring the world. Once you see the credits, you can't return. You have to start a new game. They had to find a way to fit this content, this expansion, within the main game. So you have to wait till you actually beat Ornstein and Smough before you can even get to it, and then when you do it, you see more great stuff. But you end up getting a lot more souls, and then everything you do after that, you'll probably be over leveled for that stuff. I was gonna say, let me go to 40. 4,000 more, and I can level up. I think I'll pop something. You know what, I should probably... Okay. Put it in here, and then just... I still need more. Yep. Maybe not much higher after all, just a very focused build. I don't know what you're exactly referring to, but yeah, I basically just put everything to vitality, endurance, dexterity, and in the beginning I was doing a lot of strength too because I was using Claymore. So yeah, I'm gonna go up to 40 with my dexterity, and then probably just spread out between vitality and endurance for any other souls I get. So one more, I can put one more level. I can get one more level. If I end up just like popping all of these souls, then I can probably get a lot more levels. But then again, the game would just be even easier than it is now. Okay, that's 35. I should have enough now. Okay, let's warp out of here. Since we're all done, let's go back. Where do we want to go? Here. So I'll play a little bit more. I'll get further into where I need to go here, but I doubt we'll get to any more bosses in this episode, in this stream, just because it's pretty far away. It'll probably take several more hours to play before I get to the next big boss.
You were gone so long. Go ahead. You may rest here. Even an undead requires repose.
Alright, so in following along, the last Lord Soul left is... Alright, so... Oh, okay. sorry, Mornar, you did post a lot here. Also much higher level than I normally am at this point in the game. It's pretty straightforward with one other person. Maybe not just... Okay, now what you said makes sense. Okay, gotcha. Have you ever done a Soul Level 1 playthrough? If you want a challenge, that's the fun one. No, I haven't done that one yet. Probably someday I'll do it. This is only my third playthrough of the game, and since this is like a stream, one in which I am trying to do like a critique of the game as I go, I wanted to show the game in just like a normal playthrough. I didn't want any... Or something that was close to a normal playthrough with some things that make it more challenging, like things I used a shield in my previous ones. I thought just not using a shield would make it more challenging that way for me, and that would be enough. So just doing the two-handed sword style, learning to dodge properly rather than rely on the shield, would be enough for me. Alright, so here is the last area before we get to the final Lord Soul. And that is, it's actually another dragon. One of the few surviving dragons. If you know about the lore, then you know what I'm talking about. So I don't know exactly how far I'll get to playing here. But, you know, we'll get as far as possible, see as much of this sort of chateau thing. That chateau area. But like I said, there won't be there probably won't be another big boss this episode. Just because it will take a while before I actually get to it, or make it over there. Okay, these crystal guys are a bit tough. Probably should have healed up at some point. Alright, need to run. Have fun. Alright, see you, Morinar. Good to see you in the chat again. And I'll probably see you on Twitter anyhow. I will be linking the archive of this, so if you want to see the battle again, see how I did it, then feel free to look for that. As with any new area, we're going to be entering an exploratory phase. Be a lot of new things to experience. So I'm not going to have too many thoughts right up front, just because I'm not going to know a whole lot about the area. Can say that these guys are pretty tough, just because, probably because of their crystalline nature. Oh, whoops. Particularly tough. I would say my Uji-Katana here is just not very well equipped to take on any enemy that's not flesh and blood, since most of the damage involved has to do with bleeding. So if they don't bleed, of course, most of the damage advantage to using the Uji-Katana is going to be negated. Alright, can I actually get to this caster before he teleports out of here? Ah, no. That's why those casters are so annoying, they just teleport out. Okay. So this is a really unusual sight in Dark Souls up until now. Largely we've seen like these very natural environments. You know, cliffs, lakes, and forests, and now all of a sudden we're seeing, you know, not just buildings, but a building that is essentially not ruins. It seems to be fairly well kept. There's a lot of books. So yeah, this is an unusual sight, and it's like one of the most differentiated environments in the game, I would guess, just based on that. The fact that it's like a well-kept, civilized building. Ah, that's where the caster is. Alright, let's see if we can get him before he has to teleport again. It's odd to see those casters just like run across. Usually they just stay in place and hit you with long-range magic. Or they just teleport out. Alright, so first phase of the area. Managed to get through that. Alright, so there's a lever thing over there. There is a way to go over here as well. Let's see what's over here. Okay, so you actually get somewhat of a view of where we are right now. We can see that we're in that building that we saw all the way down further below Lucille. If you look upwards, you can see this sort of this chateau way up high, even higher than the castle, which we can sort of see down there. Is there a reason to go this way? I think there might be a chest over there, possibly. Aha, okay. Ah, it is a mimic. Gotta be careful of these. Crystal Night Shield, interesting. Alright, I think there is nothing left here. I don't know if there was something on that side. Might want to check out. Another chest, perhaps. As far as I'm concerned, I really like this area just because it is so different, as I said. Oh, okay, there is a chest. This one is a real chest. More twinkling titanite. Looks like there are multiple levels here. It follows a lot of the design of the game so far, making use of both horizontal and vertical elements and like these twisting pathways. However, in a more structured and architectural environment, probably something that lends itself to what From Software will do in Bloodborne. You see a lot more of these environments in that game because it is more of a setting based on a, what's that word, Victorian era times rather than like a medieval fantasy setting. Crystal dude. So we're seeing some very interesting stuff here. All of a sudden, seeing all these crystals around the walls and stuff. It's getting more and more crystalline as we go, so it's kinda ominous here as to what is going on. Feeling like something, we are walking right into something nasty here. So, we get a fog wall here. And alright, we see the Scaleless here. However, it seems like he's doing a lot of damage to us and we can't really do anything about it. Can't even get to him. It's kind of like on a ledge. Alright, so I mentioned earlier on that there was another example of a time that we have to die in the game, and here it is right away. We are presented with an encounter that we can't actually overcome, and now died and appeared in a new area. So that was actually something that's supposed to happen. You're supposed to fail there so that we can be brought to this prison portion, and then rest of the bonfire here. So again, if you approach that without being prepared, you do lose those souls because you can't exactly go back and get your retrieval. I didn't really have that many souls, so I'm not too concerned about it. I should also rest here so that I can actually warp back here. This is where I need to be anyhow. Okay, so we're in this prison with other prisoners here. Well, I think this is like a perfect time, since we're in a new area and we faced a sort of boss encounter. This is actually the perfect time to end this segment, this stream, since we're entering a new the proper portion of this area that'll lead to the next Lord Soul. I think this is the perfect time to actually punctuate this stream, so I'm gonna end it right here. So, if you tuned in, thank you very much for watching. You can watch all the archives of this playthrough Dark Souls over on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/YamsterSam. You can also follow me on Twitter at YamsterSam. And I will see you next time, where we continue on with fight against Seath the Scaleless, which is another dragon, and head on to the next Lord Soul. So until then, I will see you later. Later.